Hi, welcome to our channel. I'm Mothleen and I'm Berlinda. So today is our mother's perspective on having a teenager with autism. Okay, so that's our topic today. So we have today Barbara, and Barbara has graciously decided to give her journey about her journey with her son who has autism. All right. So we have a pleasure of having you, Barbara, today. So thank you so much for coming today to share your story. We appreciate it so much.
So
Really
much.
do.
Of
So
course, of course. I'm
yes,
happy to be here.
yes. So remember, we're just going to ask you some questions about your journey, and you can answer it, as the best of your possibility. All right. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So our first question is, what were the signs, and symptoms that your child exhibited that led you to believe that he may have autism?
It started when he was, I want to say, through 2.5. He was excelling. He was reading and everything. Even at 2 years old, I
Mhm.
would have him around my family, my friends, and people would say like, "Wow, they haven't met a 2-year-old that can, read and spell 12-letter words."
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and back at 3, he just went mute. And my sister, I had a nephew at the time, he was 2. So I would look at, the milestones and like, okay, why isn't he doing this? Why isn't he doing that? He would start talking in third person. And he would, when he would want something to eat, he would just point at the top of the fridge or just point in the refrigerator. So a friend of mine at the time, she said, she was his godmom, and she said, I think you should get him tested. She said, I looked at all the symptoms because she would keep him sometimes for me. And she said, I think you should get him tested. So I did, and
Mm.
it was
Yeah.
it was hard.
I
Yeah.
I understand. I could
Yeah.
only imagine. I
Yeah.
just by you sharing, going back to that time, I can tell that that must have been
Painful.
painful
Yeah.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you the thought comes in like, okay, I'm pregnant, I'm gonna have a baby. You think about the child's future. What do
Mhm.
you want? Especially when you find out the gender, like, oh, my son is gonna be this, that. And it's like you mourn the child that you wish you had. And but it's what God gives us, so we have to make the best of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
agree. Okay.
Hmm.
So basically, so you found out. So after you found out, what did you do? So because you said, he just went mute.
Yeah. He would talk, but it would be like flapping. The meltdowns became crazy. And it was like, no, I have to do something. But I went through the Social Security department. They sent me to a psychologist, psychiatrist, and after him being seen about 2 or 3 times, and they told me, and of course my initial reaction, I was heartbroken. I
Mm.
cried, but she made me feel better. She's like, but he has high function autism. He just needs therapy and everything will be okay. She's like, he's very smart. It's just going to be his communication. He won't understand sarcasm and, just a lot of things. And I was like, oh, okay. And immediately I went into trying to get speech therapy, occupational therapy, and just doing the work before he even got into elementary school.
Wow. So you, as a parent, you did your research and you just went to work. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's good for you. Um,
Hmm.
because again, that's the first thing. That's the first step is just getting them early intervention. So when you said he went mute. So what does that mean
He wasn't talking. He
exactly?
wasn't speaking at all. He wasn't speaking at all, and that went on for like, I want to say about 2 or 3 months, and then when he did, it was the meltdowns, the screaming, the running everywhere, and it's emotional. But I have to be honest. Nobody wanted to keep him. I couldn't find, other than the daycare, I couldn't find no one that would, hey, can Davion, other than my sister. And one of my sisters and the girl that was his godmother at the time, I can go to them, but everybody, he doing too much. I can't carry him. I would just stay home with him.
Wow.
Wow.
That must have been hard. So it
Yeah.
was hard for you. Was it hard for you to work because of it? Because you couldn't find, a specific person
To
that
watch
can watch him
him.
for you or
Yeah, at the time I wasn't working because it was just hard to find a job. But I mean, everything happens for a reason. I felt like that was the time that I had to get him tested, do the research, find where I can place him, the elementary schools that had the programs for autism. So it worked out. It
okay.
worked out for us.
Was he in a cluster or was he mainstream? Was he in a
Special
special
program, like
program with
in the school,
kids
like with
kids
Yes.
like him? Okay.
He was in a class. I think he went in at kindergarten. And when he first got in there, there were special needs kids. There were kids with Down syndrome, cerebral palsy.
Hmm.
And I was just like, oh, okay, I guess this is it. Got to take it and run with it. But I was so happy because his first day of school in elementary school, the teacher came to me. And when I picked him up, she's like, what are you doing at home? And I'm like, why? She's like, he's the only kid in here that can read. And she was like, you sure you have autism? I said, yeah, he does. But
Mm.
they gave him his praise. They say he could read, he wrote very well. But because I also taught him at home, I had him on the program, Your Baby Can Read,
Hmm.
and he loved it.
Okay.
Okay.
So what is he like now as a teenager? How like and how has he progressed?
Well, he's into girls. So
That
he's
does
into
that does shake.
girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's into girls and
Typical
fashion,
teenager.
wanting to dress himself, music, video games, things that regular teenagers, but he tends to fall into the wrong crowd. And, I have to tell him the difference between they're not your friend, they're
Mm.
not laughing with you, they're laughing at you.
Hmm.
And, he gets upset with me. He still has the meltdowns and he's like, you don't want me to have any friends. I'm like, it's not that. Like, they're picking on you. You have to know, they're not your friends.
Mhm.
So that's really hard.
Yeah, because again, you did mention that understanding sarcasm
Hmm.
is hard.
Mhm.
So he's not going to be able to pick up on the body language to know, okay, this person is not really, telling me or being my friend. He's
Mhm.
literal. He's very
Very
literal.
literal.
Yeah. Even though he's very bright.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but very literal. Okay.
Yeah, very little. I dealt with there was an incident where he met these friends online, and I just took away his phone because they were FaceTiming him, bullying him, having him stripped to record him.
Oh.
And yeah, kids are just so mean. And I always say it's not like when we were growing up. We
Hmm.
Right.
would know the kids that were special needs, not just look like, okay, no, you don't
Right.
mess with those kids. But these
Right.
new kids, it's like they would they would pull him out of class to have him do things so they can record him, put him on
Oh.
Instagram, Twitter. So now, after speaking to him, he's like, yeah, mom, they come to me like, Davey, I'll go chase that girl. And he's like, no, I ain't doing that. You do it. I said, yeah,
Okay.
tell them that because they're not going to do it because they don't want to embarrass themselves.
Hmm.
Exactly. Okay, so it sounds like he's
He's
starting
starting getting
to,
get a better understanding,
yeah,
have better
Yeah.
understanding.
yeah, with all
Hmm.
your help and all the therapy that he's had,
Hmm.
it started is helping him. So you said he had physical therapy, I'm sorry, occupational, speech. Did he have to have ABA or no?
He South Florida is so hard to get ABA. I mean, he had maybe like two or three, but they were no good. Like one woman, she would just pick him up, ride him around with her in her car, go to the salon with her to get her hair done. I pulled that. And there was another one. She was okay, but he would just sit at home with her all day. She wouldn't take him anywhere.
Mm.
Mm.
So right now he has an ABA at school,
Okay.
Hmm.
and they've been helping him a lot. He's doing way better. I had him on Adderall, but he's not on it anymore. He's like, Mom, I don't need my medicine. I can be good without it.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's awesome.
awesome. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
yeah, he looks like he sounds like he's come a long way from what you know how he was in the
Hmm.
beginning. So,
Hmm.
kudos to you because that means you've been really working with him.
Yes,
Yeah.
because it's hard as a
Yeah.
parent. It's hard with a general, quote unquote
Hmm.
general child, right?
Right.
But with a child with autism, it's even harder. So to see that he's made so much stride, kudos to you,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
not also sound like you have a village because you mentioned your sisters
Right.
have been there, your
A good
child's
support system.
godmother, you know.
Hmm.
Talk to us about
Yeah.
Yeah.
how, to other parents, how, a village can help.
Oh, it definitely can help because, to be honest, in the Black community, we don't like to get help. We don't want to be labeled. So I don't, if it wasn't for her, I would have never walked in that office to get him the help.
Hmm.
And, even sometimes when I'm overwhelmed, my sister or my nieces, they're twins, they're 23, and they all grew up together, and they would be like, "No, auntie, don't say that. Have patience." And my uncles and my boyfriend have now. We've been together about 6 years, and he loves him. Like he's always teaching him right from wrong and telling him what to do and not to do. So having a village is
Beneficial,
Hmm.
helpful. I
Helpful. I
it
understand.
understand. I
is.
can see,
Yep.
I can see you're
Yeah.
emotional just
Yes.
talking about it,
I
and
know.
we
We
understand,
understand.
believe me.
Yeah, no one knows until they actually go through it.
Yes.
And because it's when to go through all that because it's an emotion. It's a
Yeah.
roller coaster. It's up and
Yes.
down,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so when you have that support, people don't realize it's huge.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
and that's why I'm always encouraging people there get a support system. If it's not family or friends, they have things out there.
Yes.
Google some communities because you need that support. You can't do it by yourself. You're not
No,
an
you can't.
island.
No, you
You can't
can't.
do it,
Yes.
right? So I'm glad that you're emphasizing that
Hmm.
because people really, need that.
Yes,
Hmm.
exactly.
Yeah. And for so long, I hid it. And like, I think when he was about 10, I posted on Facebook, I said, I love somebody very much, someone very much with autism. His name is Davion. And the amount of people that DM'd me, like, oh my God, he doesn't look autistic. Like, what are you doing?
Mm.
I have a nephew, I have a niece. My sister doesn't want to get them help. And I was just like, wow, like, I can't believe like a lot of people out there like don't want to get their kids tested. And my
Right.
only advice is I always say, the earlier, the better.
Yes.
Yes,
The earlier, the better. Don't let them sit like that because society would spit them up
Yep.
in the
exactly.
street.
Hmm. Yep.
You said it. You said,
Hmm.
pretty much that's basically what I was gonna ask you next. What advice you would
We
give?
give. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to ask that
Excuse me.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
just get the help as early as you can. Don't be in denial. I mean, it happens. Like, don't think it's just your child. Like, I tell people, go on TikTok, YouTube, Google.
Yes.
They're everywhere. Like, don't be
There's a lot
embarrassed.
of
You're not
help.
going to be the first, and you're
Mhm.
not going to be the last. But the
Right.
earlier, the better.
Hmm.
Just do it for your child because you're gonna be hindering both of y'all if you don't get the help. They're gonna
I-
hold everybody back, the
Right.
family, yourself.
Hmm.
You know, even if you feel like some people are embarrassed, like, oh, I want to take them outside and
mm,
can't do that because at the end of the day, God gave you that child. He gave you that child for a reason.
Right.
yes,
Yeah,
I
for you,
agree.
for you to be an advocate for somebody else.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And it sounds like you an advocate for your child.
Yes,
Just the
I
way
see
that
it.
you're speaking,
Hmm.
and I can tell, and I can see the pride. You're
And passion.
proud of your
Passion.
son Davion, and it's just beautiful to
Yes.
see, and it's hard, especially as a single parent, so
So that's another thing question. What advice can you give to single parents with a child with autism?
Mm,
mhm,
be strong, be patient, give that child the love that you would want. Give that child the patience that you would want. Nobody's going to put in that effort and that time like you would for your child. So just do it. It'll help both of you in the long run. And just get them the love because, they don't know. They don't know. I mean, a lot of them, well, yeah, most of y'all, they're very empathetic. They know when you're emotional. they can sense your sadness and everything. So, just do it. It's hard because you feel like, why me? Why does that happen to me? Why my child? It happens. And just do it. Even if you don't have a village, be your child's village.
Hmm. Yeah.
Build your own community. That's all I can say. Find the other parents, get the kids together, talk about it. Let's build something, go on walks together.
Mm.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
love that.
create your own support system.
Right. I
Yeah.
mm,
I love
that's
it.
good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. Don't hide them. That's who you are.
Right.
That
Mhm.
child came from you. Just take it and run with it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm glad you mentioned that because there, especially within the Black community, there's, I know that's very, it's easy. Yeah. Yeah. Don't be ashamed. It's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I have my moments sometimes where, sometimes where I'm in public and he'll just like whisper and talk to himself and he'll stare at people and people like giving him the eye and have to hold him like, okay, just look in your phone. Or, my boyfriend, he's like, what you looking at? He's a child. Don't stop staring at him like that. I'm like, it's okay because the next child gonna come along, they're gonna look at that, and the next one, and the next one. It's fine. They'll be okay.
Mhm. Is there anything else you'd like to tell, the autism community or other people who need to know about autism? Anything else you'd like to add?
Um, get books. I have a ton of books about autism. Get books, read, get a support system, and if you never had patients before, you gotta
Hmm.
put in your patient shoes right now because you're gonna need it. It's hard, but I mean, I'm happy that I'm blessed to have a child that has high functional autism. Like he's good at math, reading, everything. Sometimes we don't have that, but
Hmm.
just do the work.
Right.
Please do the work for your child. Don't abandon them. Do that work. Help them.
Hmm.
Mm.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to tell your story because by you telling your story, you're helping others.
Yes.
So we're very grateful for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
You're welcome. Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you,
And I gotta thank my
everybody.
aunt Martha because she pushed me like, hey, did you get the text? She reached out. And I'm glad she did. And
I'm glad you did
I
too.
also have a bracelet business where I do like Apple bands and charm bracelets for autism. Yeah,
Oh,
so I'm selling like autism jewelry and everything too.
okay.
Oh.
So what we'll do is we'll link that below
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
our channel
Share it with
and share it
others.
with it so we can share it with others. Again, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. And we say thank you guys.